What's up, fam? What's up, family? How you doing? Okay. How's everybody day today? It was great and blessed. Yes, yes. Today, I got a couple of things I want to speak on, and there is my special person of the day, my Black Excellence. Um, we are talking about today a gentleman by the name of George Carruthers. George Carruthers, okay, he was born October the 1st, 1939. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2020, born in Ohio. Okay. Now, what's great about this Black excellence is that he came up with the ultraviolet camera or spectrograph used by NASA in 1972 with the Apollo flight, revealing the mysteries of space and Earth atmosphere. Now, brother came up with that, and we definitely got to give him a round of applause. Everybody is now using this if you are involved with studying space, right? Now, I don't want to hack this up because I always hack things up when it comes to big words, right? And so I'm gonna give it my best shot. And let me see, at the age of 10, he built his first telescope from scratch. Dude, he used to deliver papers when he was 10 years old, and all the stuff that was left over from him delivering papers, he actually put together a telescope, and it worked. So this was the genius behind him, and not just that, he wasn't the greatest in school, like getting all the top grades. He was more of a hands-on. He understood more when you put him to a task. That was the kind of man this gentleman was right here behind me. That's George Carruthers right there. Okay, he's been interviewed by this guy, and who was interviewing him and his contribution to NASA. All right, and you see, he earned his PhD aeronautical and astronautical engineering at the University of Illinois in 1964, and then began working at the U.S. Naval Research Laboratory. Okay, so that is his contribution to the world. Black man, Black excellence. All right, another round of applause for him. I just feel great about that, and thank you, Denasia. I appreciate that. And basically, the reason why I do this is because I want to inspire people that are coming up and they hear about the contributions that Black people have done. This is not a racist thing that I'm doing. This is just us being proud and uplifting each other. I'm talking only to my Black and brown people when I do this Black excellence. And this is something I think that every day we all should try to find somebody. Somebody's my hat there. We should try to find somebody to give thanks to for the contributions to not just United States, to the world. And he is one, George Carruthers. Okay. Yay. All right. I want to speak a little bit on today's topic is going to be how can Ukraine survive? How in the world can Ukraine survive such a brutal attack from such a power source like Russia? How is it possible? Well, what we're starting to learn now, because of all the reports coming in, is that it seemed as if Putin went in recklessly. He just went in without a plan, it looks like. I mean, he had a plan, but it wasn't a thought out plan, just bum rush. So, because if you look at the photos of the 17 miles of tanks that he have lined up, they're sitting there. They're not moving. So that means if the front end doesn't move, then the rest of them ain't going anywhere unless they go off that trail, off that road. And not just that, that in some locations where he has the invasion with all of these tanks, these military tanks, and they have to take the road for the most part, but he has no exit, meaning everything is going in one direction. He got all the lanes filled with his tanks, but there's no exit lanes. Like, in other words, what about when somebody gets injured? How do you get the guys up to the front to help the people that have been injured and hurt on the Soviet side? There is no way. That's why they're running out of gas. They're running out of fuel. Mind you, what Russia is I think the third most oil controlled country. They control a lot of oil coming out of there. There should be no reason whatsoever any of those tanks should be running out of fuel. That sounds comical, but this is a deadly situation. Now, another thing seems to be reported coming out of Ukraine is that the fallen Soviet soldiers, they've did a count. It's kind of conflicting as far as how many, because of course a lot of Ukrainians have passed in this invasion as well. But the report is that there are well over 500, between 500 and 6,000 Soviet troops have been killed in the battle. And the people of Ukraine are trying to contact the Soviet people in charge to retrieve the bodies of the fallen soldiers. And they're getting no response. So, in other words, it seems as if that Putin had put his boys out there, and not that they wanted to go, not that they were like, you know, eager to go and fight, but they were forced to. And if they come back empty-handed, if they don't die on the field, it's almost like you go, you fight for the country, but don't think about coming back. But if you come back empty-handed, especially if you leave one of my tanks out there, you're gonna see a firing squad. I don't think they really want to go back because of how Putin rules his country. All right, because it's only him that makes all the decisions, and it's only him who has his finger on the button, and it's only him receiving all the money. But the autocrats of the Soviet Union who support Putin and everything that he's done up to this war. So the autocrats are wealthy Russian men. They are worth billions of dollars. And these are the people that he has surrounding him and giving him advice and supporting him in this effort. And they're starting to speak out against this war because what they're seeing now is that their resources are being choked out as well because of their association to Putin. And Putin is telling them, he's not asking, he's telling them, do not stop supporting me. This is what he's telling these people. But see, they're not afraid of him. They're afraid of him up to a level. But with billions of dollars, you pretty much can protect yourself against somebody like a Putin. And another thing I've heard down the grapevine of this war is that somebody put a wealthy business Russian person put a bounty on the head of Putin for $1 million. Whoa. Really? They tired of this man, especially with a decision like this, very weakly thought out. That's not showing strength. That's just showing that he's a bully. Now his only confidence is nuclear weapons. That's the confidence of most of these countries who have nuclear weapons. They're cocky. They got they chin up and their chest stuck out because they have nuclear power, and that's all they have. But here's the deal: they're not the only country that has it. We're not the only country that has it. There are more, maybe more than what we think, because of course, here it is. It's supposed to be a war crime to use it. supposed to be, just like it's a war crime to just attack civilians, in which apparently the Russians are doing in Ukraine. Now, a couple of those Russians have been captured, and the kind heart, dagnabbit, of the Ukraine people are to allow them to call their dagnabbit family, because Putin is not trying to answer anything. Left those guys out there with nothing, just a tank and weapons. But everything else, they running out of water. They running out of food. They're running out of gas because they're going so deep into the country. I don't see how they should have a gas truck somewhere behind in that line somewhere. So how can Ukraine win, or survive this onslaught? How is it possible? Now, with my own unmilitary trained eye and understanding of what's going on, is that if other countries are going to help Ukraine, the best way to help them is not just with aid of, like first aid and food and weapons, but the type of weapons. The tank busters are good. All right. You seen those look like bazookas, but they're big, and they'll pierce a tank. But you can only use them one tank at a time, basically. You can only use that on one tank at a time. So you got to have somebody with your ammo, which is a pretty big bullet they put in that thing. I don't know how big. I'm not even going to try to demonstrate because I don't know. But I've seen how it's designed, and it's designed just like a bazooka, but it's a tank buster. It pierces the body of the tank and just blows it up. Okay, that's good. Those are good to have. What else would be great for them to have in order to survive this thing are drones. Armed drones. Because if they're sitting in that line for 17 miles, there are 3 major places you need to attack them. Those tanks sitting in that line to move forward into Ukraine, waiting for their orders. While they're waiting for their orders, those drones should attack the front end where they can't advance anymore. You have to tear out at least close to 50 of those tanks at the beginning of that line. And then you go directly to the end, but they have to be attacked at the same dagnabbit time. You can't do it like, well, today we're going to attack the front and tomorrow we're going to attack the back. You can't do it that way. It has to be simultaneously. It has to be at the same time. This is a chess move. I play lots of chess. I'm not bad at it. And you can't just attack from one angle. Now, obviously, Putin has played chess before, war chess, because he surrounded Ukraine. He expects that wherever there is a weak entrance somewhere else along that border, there would be a strong one to get in. But drones can handle that. Armed drones can literally, if they bring those tanks in like he did, that's easy pickings for a drone. It's hard for them to catch a drone in the sky because of how high it will be. Because it's shown success already. One drone has tore up about 2 or 3 tanks, maybe 5. And it was all video captured. That was a great move. But they need more. So if the NATO alliance are helping, y'all better think about investing in some drones, some armed drones to help Ukraine out of this thing. Now, like I was saying, the plan of attack would be you hit them at the nose of that convoy. You got to tear up at least close to 20 trucks, 20 tanks. At the same time, you're tearing up the back end, at least 20 trucks. And at the same time, you hit them smack dab in the middle. And when they start to scatter, then you send your drone into the batches. That is it. That's one way out of many to stop that convoy of tanks coming into the country like that. And they all seem to be following each other in a line. They're not coming in at, little spots here, spots there, spots here, spots there, spots. They're not doing that. They're following each other because they don't know where to go. It's the lead, the front end that's guiding the rest of them. Once you knock out that front end and you knock out that back end, the center is easy picking. In every location that they have infiltrated Ukraine, that's how you knock them out. That's how you survive this thing. Drones and tank busters and mines. You have to place out the mines just like they did in the old war. You got to use those things. Because if they coming down that road, let them come. Let the mines go ahead and do what they got to do with them. Those will bust the tank as well. If you want to help them the right way. Don't just start just sending them, medical equipment and food and clothes and do all that and weapons. But it's the type of weapons that you send if you expect them to survive this thing and regain their country back. So that means Putin is going to have to either withdraw or go nuke. He ain't gonna have much of a choice because the first wave can get smashed if Ukraine have the right weapons. Now, hey, let's also not exclude the Air Force of Ukraine. If they can battle those guys well, I don't know how much practice they have, but if they're gonna survive this thing, man, if you want them to survive, then you got to make sure they got the right firepower. How they gonna fight back? You got to make sure that you're sending them the right stuff. Now they want to be a part of NATO. At wartime, when prior to that, they were being blocked by Putin and Trump. Trump did everything in his power. There was a time we were sending aid, financial aid to Ukraine. You remember? 13 million or something like that? Or was it more than that? And Trump held it back from them, telling them they had to do something to get it. I need you to say something out loud and then you can get it. We'll give you the money. That was that quid pro quo thing. That's what it was. This is crazy. We're at the brink of a war right now. For all you partying, getting high, smoking, drinking people, we're at the brink of a war right now. This is not something to just snub your nose at and say, it ain't your fight. What fight is your fight? Other than the fight that we have here naturally. It's a natural fight here we have in this country as Black people. The fight against the racism to survive. That's our fight. But is that our only fight? Because if you want to talk about Black brothers and sisters should mind their Black business, how about when Africa was going at each other? Were you willing to pick up arms and go over to Africa and help them out when they were being invaded? You said no to that too. Now you're saying no to this war, that we're all going to be trapped up in the middle, regardless. If it becomes a nuke, before it becomes a nuclear war, it's going to be weapon to weapon combat, air to air strikes. It's going to be that type of nonsense going on first. And then everybody in this country will decide what side they're going to be on. We won't know. Black and brown people, we're going to be like, we don't know if that's our friend or enemy, because they all look alike just about. And especially the ones who have been planted here in this country from Russia, like sleeper cells. Learn the culture, learn the language, learn the life, learn the ideologies, act like, walk like, talk like, dress like them, cut your hair like them, put that twang in your voice like the country boys do. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff right there. You never know. It's a matter of their actions now, doesn't it? Right? So who is the real enemy of this country? Is it the black man? Is it? Has it been the black man, like you've been trying to tell your people that it's the black man that's the problem in this country? You sure? We never did try to try to get in. Well, I ain't gonna say, never. There's some of us who think they can change their color by their actions, but the outer color never really changes. So you know who they are regardless. We cannot go in there and act like a white boy. We cannot go in there and act like a white country boy and still be on the side of Putin. And you never know it. You're always going to know when you just look at us in the room. Now, if you were battling Africa and Africa was a threat and all that, then you might have a little problem trying to decipher who's who. Especially if we know how to speak the lingo. You know what I mean? And a lot of born, raised black Americans don't know how to speak the African lingo. You know? But that ain't it, because it ain't us. We're not the enemy to this world or to this country. We're not the threat. It ain't us. But you tried to make the world think it was us. We the problem. But look at what you doing. You and your folks are doing to this world. Look at what you're doing. Destruction. No doubt. Doomsday, baby. That came on right on time, too. I didn't even know that was going to happen right there. But that's perfect. Doomsday. That's what we seem to be looking at right now. And it ain't got nothing to do with black folks. When I say ain't got nothing to do with it, we didn't start a thing. We were always just trying to get a piece of the pie in life, period. Not just in America. That's all we wanted, was a piece of the pie. Be fair with us. That's all we was crying for. Be fair. Just don't mistreat us. That's all we asked for. But we got all this. Doomsday coming. We got that though. Because every time you started your bull crap, we was caught in the middle. Yeah. So how can Ukraine win against such a superpower? Or not just win. We're not looking at them winning. How about creating a stalemate? How can they create a stalemate? How can they get Russian or the Russian advance to stop? How can they do that successfully with all the firepower that it has? And not just that, we got to think. Some people are trying to convince us that China has nothing to do with this. People are trying to convince us that China is just sitting back doing nada. They're not leaning left or right. They just sitting back waiting. That's not 100% true either. Because when they had the opportunity to denounce this war, they did not do that. And there is a reason why they chose not to do that. Because they have a stake in this war. They have a stake in this war. They have aligned themselves and been doing business with Russia in Africa together, and on a couple other things that we may not be aware of. They've been doing business together. So if we want to be naive and think that China has nothing to do with it, now mind you, China don't care for America. Oh no, especially after Trump said that they was the Wuhan China thing. That really made them mad. Oh, they pissed off at America. They's like, how can American people allow him to stand up there and say that nonsense? We're going to get them back one way or another. If it ain't high prices, and if something do kick off, dagnabbit, we probably ain't going to side with United States because we don't like them. But look at us black folks caught in the middle again. Caught in the middle, boy. We always caught in the middle of whatever goes on between the white folks in this world. It don't matter. We caught in the middle. And we can sit up there all day and say it ain't your fight. When they press that button, it's everybody's fight. Before them bombs drop, people gonna be acting really crazy, knowing that the end is coming. They're gonna try to do something. They're gonna be so lawless, it's gonna be just crazy out here. And you can fool yourself and think that it ain't gonna be like that. All we can do is pray. Us praying people can pray, but still be willing to fight to our end, regardless if the bomb is coming or not. Now, I want to go peaceful with my peoples. You know, I would like that to happen. But if they come bum rushing, they going with me. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a fight to the end until the bomb drops. But if it doesn't, we stood our ground. Just like Ukraine right now have to stand their ground. Yeah, Ukraine stuck. Now, mind you, some of the Ukrainian people, they may not care too much about black folks in Africa's, the African nation and people from Africa. They done showed their true colors already. But the leaders realize we cannot put that image out there. So when they started to see them videos of them pushing them brothers and sisters off that dagnabbit train, don't let them get on. Don't let them get in, but let the Ukrainian women and children get in, and not the black women and children. When they got word of that, they did send information down the pike to say, don't do that again. So therefore, let's see. Now, the last reports I've heard about some Africans getting out, they made it. You know, they went to another safe place before they got dispersed back into Africa. And they were being treated very well. What country was that? I just said it yesterday, man. See how my memory is? I got to go back to my notes, man. Lucky I got notes, you know what I mean? Romania, right. Absolutely. That was that point that the Africans had to get to disperse back into their way back into Africa after escaping this bullcrap war that they were caught in the middle of. When we Black Americans get caught up in the middle of this nonsense that happens, where are we gonna run to? We're gonna run to Africa? Is it gonna matter at that point? Because really, we got to be able to find all our uncles and cousins and nephews and nieces and everybody, and everybody gonna be thinking differently about leaving. Some gonna want to stay, and some might be with you to leave. So what do? Just pack up and go? Or do you stand and fight with your family? I choose to stay and fight with my family. I'm not leaving my kids. I'm not leaving my cousins. I'm not leaving my sister. My nephews and nieces, I'm not leaving them. So you black folks who say it ain't your war, go ahead, pack your bags and find somewhere to go. Right? But me, I'm staying right here. I was born here. In this racist country. In this no good nick place. I was born and raised here in this place. My ancestors died here, was dragged here, and died in this place. Is why I'm here. So yeah, that's my choice. That's my choice. That's what I was gonna do. Until the big bomb drops, if it drops. But the way they're talking now, Putin might be unhinged. If he's unhinged and not thinking correctly, which obviously he's not, because Ukraine could stop the convoy that's coming into the country. Drones will stop them guys. Drones will trap so many of those Russian soldiers right there on those roads because they're sitting there and they're waiting for their orders. Some of them are confused. You know why they're confused? Because when they rolled into a particular Russian-speaking place in Ukraine, the Russians were telling them, "We don't want you here. Stop. Go back." And they used their bodies to stop the tanks. What? Suicidal, you say, right? Because they could have smashed them. Could just roll over them, just like they roll over everything else with those tanks. But they didn't, because they were Russian-speaking people telling them, "We're Russian. We've been living here for 30 years. Do not come here. We don't have that problem." Putin lied to you. They didn't know what to do. They tried to back the crowd up by shooting in the air over their head, but they didn't flinch. They was ready to die under those tanks. Russian-speaking people that Putin said he was coming in to protect, but they need no protection. The kind heart of those people, when those Russian guys ran out of fuel, man. The tanks ran out of fuel. So they asked somebody who was driving by, "Can you get us some fuel?" And they said, "Heck to the no, we can't. Get out of here. Go home. 40 miles back that way, walk." And guess what those soldiers had to do? They had to unpack out that daggone tank and walk. But now, if that was anywhere else, they wouldn't have been walking with their weapons. They would have been walking with no weapons. We wouldn't kill you right there, but you're going to have to walk and hope nobody else gets you. Ukraine can possibly survive this thing. Whew. That's a real narrow line. Narrow line. They could possibly survive this thing if NATO, all of NATO, all 30 of them, poured into what they need to survive. Drones. Start putting in drones. Teach them how to work them drones. Armed drones. Drones will bust those tanks up, and tank busters. You know the bazookas that pierce the side of the tanks? Those things. That's how they can survive this thing. I thought Putin was smart. And he's showing me he ain't that dagnabbit smart. Just like we thought all the racist white people running this country was smart. Because this country is the greatest country in the world. They gotta be smart. They ain't that dagnabbit smart, because look at some of the dumb things they've been doing all this time. And they even got the dumbest president ever in history to run this country. How smart is that? How smart is that? What in the world? That image is blown out the water. Y'all can't even retrieve that anymore. You smart. That ain't helping nothing. But you make some real dumb, ignorant moves and got us all trapped up. We all trapped up in the middle of your bull crap, ignorant decisions. We all trapped up in it. Yeah. Some brothers are saying, "They come in my backyard. Yeah, I'm going to shoot them." All right. I feel you on that. Come in my backyard. You daggone right. Talking about taking my stuff out. Yeah, I shoot you too. You know what I mean? But remember now, it ain't just that to worry about. It's that button, that red button that Putin has total control of. Here, we got a couple of people like, okay, should we not? Advisors, should we not? Putin is the only one who has total control of all that. Can you imagine wielding that much power? Would that make anybody crazy? Hitler went crazy too, didn't he? He was a nut from the beginning, wasn't he? But that's a lot of people's idol, Hitler. You look at some of the people who do some of the ferocious things here in this country to people of color, they idolize Hitler. And Putin idolizes Hitler. And they have one thing in common. They hate America. They hate us. Yeah, I said us because we black people in America, they hate us too. Oh, they hate us. Don't you think for a minute? Because now our main guy, you know, running the head of our military is a black dude. I ain't mad at him. I ain't got nothing. Well, I'm gonna be mad at that brother for. He's trying to help all of us survive. It didn't matter what color we are. I'd rather see a black man in there trying to do it than some old racist white dude in there trying to put all the black people up on the front line or something. I don't know. I mean, but the bottom line is this. Can Ukraine survive this thing? What do you think? What do you think, YouTube? Facebook? What do you think? I believe it's a slim possibility. Maybe long enough to, like, Putin might say, you know what, this ain't worth it. Because Putin is considered one of the richest men in the world, or if not the richest, because of the way he gains his wealth. Trump wanted to gain the wealth just like that. Rip the people, take their taxes, no matter what he did with his money and how he earned it. He earned his money by taking it. Putin did that. And when Trump saw that, he's like, man, I idolize that guy. I idolize him. I need to be like that. And he tried his absolute best with the 74 or 72 million people he had. They did the same thing. You see what Putin did when he invaded Ukraine without a great plan? Just ran up in there because he had the muscle, but no real plan. The people on January 6th did the same thing. Ooh. You see the similarities with that? The way that they operated? Just ran. They made a plan. They had plans because you see, some of them had zip ties and they had, all kind of stuff, man. They was prepared to catch somebody and do something bad to them. But the way that they all got together and started busting in there, that was like, at the whim of the moment. Let's do it. I got zip ties. I got a couple of pipes and sticks and stuff. Yeah, let's go up in there. Right? You see how that turned out, right? They got in there, but at the end, they thought they was going to overturn everything, but they didn't overturn nothing. They got themselves in hot water. Some of them locked up right now. And them black folks that was up in there, I don't know, about 4 or 5 of them, they locked up. I know they thought they was doing something good, hanging out with all the, look at me, man. They accept me. Boy, I'm being respected because I'm with them in the Capitol. Wow. I'm going down in history. Yeah. Hey, you are, dummy. You're going down in history, dummy. Oh, man. Yeah, you going down in history, all right, dummy. Your family probably disowned you. Like, I don't even know. I know our last name is the same, but I don't know him. He's been bad all his life. We tried to talk to him, but he wanted to go that way, so we let him go. We don't deal with him. That's how he being denounced by his family right now. Them black folks that ran up in the Capitol with them crazy old racist white people. What you thought you was doing? What did you think you was doing? I saw one brother standing up there, just standing there, watching everything happen, but he was in the Capitol. He got charged too. Now he's like, well, I didn't do anything. I was just there. Yeah, you were in there, dummy. You shouldn't have went in the door. But the similarities on how they both think, how Russia with his power and his might just thought he was gonna rush in there and they was gonna throw their guns down and be like, okay, take it. That's what he thought. And he was like, wait a minute, they fighting back? What? They fighting back? Oh, how I dare. Well, we're gonna have to bring more then. You know? Now he really want to try to crush him. But they fighting back. It's hard being a bully when the person you picking on is fighting back. It's hard to stay being a bully because they showing that they're willing to give their life to fight you back. They may not win, but they willing to fight you back. That's kind of hard for a bully to take. He's like, huh, wait a minute. You're not scared? You ain't scared? You better be scared. Hey, yeah, we scared, but we still gonna fight you and die in the process. But we scared though. You got that part right. But that don't mean we ain't gonna fight you. That's how you do it. You know? That's how you stand up to a bully, y'all. Anybody who ever been bullied ought to know that. Little kids, if there's any kids out there that may come across this here, yeah, you may be scared of your bully, but I'm telling you, win or lose, stand up to him. Kick him in the shin or a little bit higher than the shin if he got anything there. Kick that moso. Pick up something if you have to. Whack it and run. I don't care, man. A bully need to get theirs. And Putin is a bully and he need to get his. And all 30 of the NATO alliance should get together and stomp him. All of us. Everybody. China gonna have to make a decision. What you gonna do, China? You coming with us or you not? China gonna be, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I ain't, you know, we know. Yeah, you know. You gonna stand by like Don King and wait for the winner to come out. He take a fighter in. He could be in your corner. Don King could be supporting you the whole time. You go in there and lose. Don King coming out with the winner. That's China. China's like, we're not gonna fight them. We're not gonna fight nobody. Nope. Whoever come out, we cool with them. That's how China doing it. But on a sneak tip, they still supporting Russia on the sly, supporting their efforts. Yeah, I said it. You know why I said it, dagnabbit? Because I'm a grown damn man, and I said it. I mean that. Woo! Where we at? Okay, y'all. All right, listen. That was a good one. I like that, man. I like this stuff, man. This stuff making me feel like my voice. Oh, what happened? Sorry. I feel like my voice being heard. Can you hear me? All right. But anyway, on that note, y'all, tell somebody you love them today. Out of all this stuff I just talked about, war and fighting back the bully. Yeah. Tell somebody you love them. I can do it. I've been doing it for a couple of days now, matter of fact. And I'm going to do it right now. Hey, Facebook, guess what? I love you. You too. I love you too. I love y'all. See? I did it. Y'all can do it too. And on that note, as usual, treat people like you want to be treated, and it'll come back around because it has for me. You go to YouTube and hear that, it really sounds like, it sounds pretty good. You know what I mean? Facebook, y'all just getting a regular voice. Y'all just get the regular stuff. You know, I don't know how to hook it up to you guys. That's why. But yeah, you know. And on that note, y'all be kind to each other, man. Especially black folks. Stop fighting each other. Love on each other more. Stop being jealous and envy and all that nonsense, and band together, because we don't know what we're facing in the near future with this war. We don't know if we're gonna get trapped up in a nuclear thing or not. But if that's the case, don't let it be our last days. We still going at each other's throat. That's all black people around the world right there. Matter of fact, that should be the whole human race, to be honest. But we the ones seem like we got to kind of snap out of it, you know? So all of us here, we're all Americans, like it or not. We need to get along for the sake of the country and around the world. So let's just try to be at peace with each other best that we can. Ain't nobody attacking you. Ain't no need of you going to attack anybody else. You know what I mean? All right, fam. I'm out. One love.